Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting, June 4th, 2024, here in the city of Mount Pearl. Council, before you, you see our agenda for tonight. And we also have a proclamation, and I'm proud to acknowledge Noble Ted Davis, who's here. And he'll be joining us shortly for the proclamation as it relates to Shriners International. Our CAO is away. Councillor Locke has joined us from the western regions of our country. Otherwise, we're all here. It's a full house, so let's get started. Council, the agenda is in front of you. Can I get a motion, please? Thank you, Councillor Lane, and second by Councillor Fry, that we adopt the agenda. All in favor? Those opposed? And that's carried. To start the meeting, I'll read the land acknowledgement. As we begin today's public council meeting by respectfully acknowledging the province of Newfoundland and Labrador as the ancestral homelands of many diverse populations of Indigenous peoples, including the Beothuk, who have contributed to 9,000 years of history on the island of Newfoundland. Today, this province is home to diverse populations of Indigenous and other people. Excuse me. We acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit. We honor this beautiful land together as we strive for collective healing and true reconciliation. The minutes are there, folks, for the previous council meeting, May 21st, 2024. Are there any errors or omissions? It was a really good meeting, not because you weren't there, Councillor Antle, but we were happy to have the deputy mayor back. So you're 2 for 2 now. Welcome aboard again, and welcome to everybody. Any errors or omissions, folks? Hearing none. On a motion to adopt the minutes, moved by the deputy mayor, thank you, and seconded by Councillor Rice. All in favor? Those opposed? And that's carried as well. Any business arising, council? Hearing none, let's move on to that next portion I referred to earlier on, and that is to do with the Shriners. And I think we are going to have, this is a good time to read the proclamation, and I'd like to invite Mr. Davis to come on up. And after we get the proclamation read into the record, I'll ask you to speak to it if you'd like, sir. Let's see what way. Thank you. Where Shriners International is a well-known, respected fraternity dedicated to fun, fellowship, and philanthropy, with hundreds of thousands of members who belong to over 200 chapters throughout the world. And whereas its members support 27 children's hospitals and treatment centers, which form a pediatric healthcare system that provides all care with no financial obligation to patients or their families. Whereas members in the Shriners fraternity offer the invaluable opportunity to build camaraderie and lifelong friendships with other men of character and outstanding values. And where Shriners International offers its members professional development and leadership opportunities in their local communities and internationally. Whereas the Mazzol Shriners Newfoundland and Labrador would like to acknowledge and celebrate this wonderful fraternity and its rich history on the anniversary of the day the Imperial Council of Shriners International was formed. That would be June 6th, 1872. And I appreciate you didn't ask us to move our council meeting to that day. And now, therefore, I, the Mayor of Mount Pearl, on behalf of my colleagues on council, we do hereby proclaim and celebrate its many impressive achievements over the last 149 years in the city of Mount Pearl. Yep. So it's Shriners International celebrates many achievements, signed at City Hall, today's date, and that's the proclamation. 2 copies. Now, I'd love to hear, because I've known, living here in Mount Pearl, that the Masonic are based in Mount Pearl, but this is more about the Shriners and what they do, isn't it, Ted? Yeah. Hear that, Councillor Locke?
I cannot, Mayor.
We are active now. Now you should hear us.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So basically, June 6th is International Shriners Awareness Day. And that's the day that the Shriners Philanthropy has chosen to promote the existence of Shriners in our communities all around the world. They've recently just opened a hospital in Mexico. Shriners organization is kind of like an iceberg. 99% of what you see is nothing compared to what's happening behind the scenes. The general population, they don't see the private jets flying from Texas to here with the surgeons and the nurses picking up a child at 3 a.m. in the morning and bringing them to Philadelphia or Montreal or wherever their care needs happen to be. So and a lot of people think the Shriners are just like children who have mobility issues or anything like that. They are so much more now. Their mandate is so much more expanded. They're doing spina bifida, cleft lip. They're doing any spinal injury. They can actually grow legs and extend legs. They're doing all kinds of DNA research. They're in the middle of doing strategic initiatives with the Janeway to supplement their systems. They're doing telemedicine for Labrador Grenfell. It's just the stuff that's happening behind the scenes is absolutely incredible. And I'm a member of a Compass Shrine Club, treasurer for Compass Shrine Club, which is based out of Mount Pearl. And we're very grateful you folks allow us to use your facilities. Often any building that we can get into to have a meeting, and we've got a little bit of storage going on in Mount Pearl. So we're very appreciative for that support. I'm also on the board for St. John's Shrine Club, which operates out of the Mazal Shrine Center on Topsail Road. Probably most people here are familiar with the bingo and all the community activity that happens out of that building. And we appreciate both cities' support. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come on board today and promote our June 6th. And my understanding is the city of Mount Pearl is doing something with the display banner up by the glacier, the digital display for us on the 6th as well for awareness. So we really appreciate your support and hopefully it continues. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Ted, and we really appreciate what you do, how you support our community. And the Shriners has been around a long, long time and continue to do great work, not just in our community, but in the world. And I think that's the point of June 6th, isn't it, in the celebration?
A little too quick. Absolutely. So the point of June 6th is awareness in the communities all around the world. So if you see their Shriners out with their fezzes and their little pins, we're not going to be driving around in little cars. So your municipal enforcement people don't have to worry about that. That's reserved for parades only. But yeah, no, we really want to get the word out that we're, very active in the communities, and we appreciate all the support we get from the communities. Compass Club just wrapped up a fundraiser. I think we hit our half-year goal. A lot of people don't know this. The clubs have financial goals that they have to raise throughout the year in order to support what happens behind the scenes with the children and their families. Because not only are we moving the children with their critical care needs and their long-term care up to the age of 21 free, we're moving a parent or a guardian with them, housing them in the communities where they're getting treatment. And the Mazal Divan, which is the over-encompassing body that oversees the Newfoundland Labrador operations, they actually just contributed a van to the hospital in Mount Pearl, like a fully equipped patient transport van, because all our children that leave Newfoundland go to the airport in Mount Pearl in Montreal, and they're picked up in the van supplied by the Newfoundland Temple. So that's pretty neat. So if you're up in Montreal and you get an opportunity to see the Mazal or the Shriners Hospital in Montreal, it is really cool, and you can book a tour if you're really interested. And it's an awesome hospital, but filled with awesome people doing awesome work all day long. Right. Thank you very much, folks.
Council, any comments, questions? I see Deputy Mayor and then Councilor Rice.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship, and so good to see you, Ted, and to talk about the incredible work the Shriners does. As of a year now, I am an above knee amputee, and I have had the opportunity to work with some incredible healthcare providers in the city of St. John's and surrounding areas, but specifically around the Miller Center. And it's interesting that you're talking about things like growing legs, and that sounds like to other people futuristic and incredibly modern. And I can attest to that the technology that is growing around different ways of mobility. You look 1 month and it completely changes. And I think it's so important to recognize that this work is so incredible for the wellness and life, and so many people are impacted. That was actually what shocked me, how many children and individuals who have had all sorts of different mobility issues happen, or critical care issues happen in their lives. And there's portions of it that could be available for support and for financial aid through your different healthcare providers or even your healthcare system. But we're talking about some of these things to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it is not just a one-time thing. This is, like you said, people, their leg, your body, everything changes as you grow. So this is an ongoing needing a support system. So it's so funny you say that you guys have been around since 1872, but by no means are you stuck in the past. You guys are at the forefront when it comes to a lot of medicines and working with insurance providers and individuals to make it work. And I have to commend you as to one of the individuals who, you know, looking at, well, I want a microprocessor. Me, I have one right now. I'm working with a Genium, and it's allowing me to do things that otherwise I could not do. A part of that is because of organizations such as yourselves that move from a perspective of not just, well, what can we do, is how can we do it? So I think it's just tremendous work, and that you guys are doing things that are keeping up with the forefront of medicine.
They're so far. I actually had the opportunity to go to an event with one of the actual doctors, the research doctors at Shriners Hospital in Montreal. They have 7 medical patents that are used globally and working on more by the hour. So it's absolutely incredible. The prosthetic side, during the Gulf War, a lot of people don't know this. The Shrine hospitals in the United States were in a little bit of a lull. There weren't a lot of children like the normal flood that they get for whatever reason. There was an opportunity. The United States government reached out and said, can you scale up for adults? And so the parts of those hospitals were cut off entirely separate so that there was no children interacting with the soldiers. And they were just scaling up the construction of prosthetics and whatever. And that allowed them to just go leaps and bounds, and like children get custom wheelchairs. And by custom, I mean, they get to pick the color, the theme, the paint job, the children get to pick it. They get to go to where they're made. And those little aluminum tabs that you get from your cans, they're going to the wheelchair manufacturers and used for that. And when you see the children, like the ones that aren't going to be able to walk, because it's just, that's not a possibility yet. But you see the ones that aren't supposed to be able to walk 2 years later, they're running playing soccer because we're able to put 3 inches on a leg. It's absolutely incredible the work that goes on. And the other thing that's particular to Newfoundland is club foot. They also do club foot work in Montreal. So and it's all free. So all you do, you just call them as all Shrine Center. If you have a child who has any of these, the challenges they're having, there's a list on the International Shriners page. You call it, you get a call from one of the Shriners who are on the hospital committee. They have a quick conversation with you, and then they sit down and come up with a plan. You meet with the doctors, and it goes from there. You get your phone call, we arrange the flights. It's pretty neat when you see it working, and then you get to meet the children and the families later, during and later, and it's why we do what we do, right? And you see that their lives are changed. Right? Any else?
Councillor Royston, please.
Thank you, Worship. And Ted, thank you for coming in. And, I had to speak on this because a lot of my family, and I know firsthand how active and how much support you guys put into this, because my father-in-law is a Mason. He's been there for I think 45 or 50 years. My uncle Bill Benson, who's passed away now, he was very involved in the one charger right on Tops of the Road. And Bert Avery, and I know years ago when I first started going out with my wife now, my girlfriend, she was my girlfriend at the time, Bert and them were so active in the Shriners and stuff, and they had many events at the Tops of the Road Shriners. And, we'd always get a phone call because there's nobody texting back then. You call on the landline, and Bert said, now we're doing a fundraiser in 2 weeks' time, and you better show up. Right?
Yeah.
You're voluntold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were, but you're absolutely right. I mean, I want to commend how much the work that you do and the positive impact that you have on families and children. And I know I never forget one time they did a fundraiser for a burned child, and they had to raise like $160,000 in a short period. And it was done like in 2 weeks. I couldn't get over how quick they raised the money. And another big thing we used to attend was they used to have the fish fry on Fridays out there, and we used to attend that for the place I used to work. So I just want to say thank you for coming in. Certainly love this proclamation and certainly support it 100%. And if there's anything we can do, I guess, as a city and city council to certainly support you guys, I'm Malian. So thanks again for coming in. Appreciate it.
No worries. And if anybody wants to join the Shriners, give us a call. We're on the internet. You can actually click on a link and you can fill out the forms and get affiliated with a local Masonic lodge. And then you go through there, you finish up your third degree, and then you're able to petition the Shriners for membership. So thank you all very, very much for your support. Can't say it enough.
We have one final comment from Counselor Fry.
Ah, yes,
That
Isabel.
pleases everybody. We'll get a picture done.
Thank you.
Just a quick question for me, actually. First of all, I got to say, I love your passion. Just to hear you speak like that, I can feel it. And we're lucky to have people like you in our community. But the question I have is surrounding the cleft lip. I never knew that Shriners were involved in cleft lip.
There's so much they're doing now. You can go online and see the list, and if there's a child in the community who needs help, reach out. That's what we do.
But I thought that cleft lip in Canada was corrected at birth. I've done 3 mission trips to Latin America with Operation Smile, so I'm familiar with the cleft lip, and it's amazing what they can do. But I thought that it was corrected at birth in Canada. So what exactly do you guys do to help with that?
We're international. We fly patients from Mexico, South America. It's all over the world. So we get the call, and if we can make it happen, we make it happen. It's just what we do.
That's wonderful, and that answers my question. Thank you for all you do. You guys do so much wonderful work.
You're well. That's why Shriners International Awareness Week or Day on the 6th. Yeah. Anything else?
All right, let's do a picture then. And we're so glad to have you, by the way. Thanks.
I wish there was more of the nobles here. There was a bunch of people supposed to be here, and they all had challenges at the last minute. So thank you very much,
Lost
everybody.
in the fog.
Yeah, lost in the fog. That's your business.
Oh, you can stay. All right, folks, the next item on the agenda. All good, Counselor Locke?
All good, Mayor?
All right, council, the agenda. The next, we're moving on to committee reports, corporate services, and public works. Counselor Rice.
Thank you, Your Worship. We have 4 items in our kit there tonight. So the first item is our discussion directions for invoices for approval. So the scheduled meeting for May 21st, 2024, the Community Service and Public Works Committee was cancelled. However, the following items are brought forward for consideration of council. You see, we have 4 items in our invoice for approval there, totaling $75,329.88, and I so move.
It is moved by Counselor Rice, and thank you. Seconded by Counselor Lane. Questions, folks? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second is our payment register for purchase P card report. For the information of council, the following payment register for May the 16th to the 29th for 2024, totaling $659,896.23. That's for information purposes there only, and you can see them in your kit. If you have any questions or anything, you can certainly pass them along. Okay, so our next one, I will pass this over to my colleague, Councillor Lane.
Thank you very much. The third item on our agenda this evening is request for tax consideration. The committee recommends approval to exempt 2024 business tax in accordance with the policy for charitable and nonprofit organizations for the following: Alzheimer's Society Newfoundland for $3,223.28. St. John's Ambulance for $24,020.51. Campia for $30,911.18, and Newfoundland Labrador Employers Council for $9,096.03. And I move.
It is moved by Councillor Lane, and thank you. Seconded by Councillor Rice. Any questions? Councillor Antle. Okay, hearing none. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I never want to leave somebody out. So if I grab it the wrong time, that's all good. So all in favor? Contrary-minded? Carried. Back to you, Councillor.
And the last thing on our agenda this evening is the Public Works Status Report. The following status report is provided for information. For roads, work continues on asphalt repairs, litter cleanup, sidewalk and street sweeping, maintenance hole and catch basin repairs, lawn repairs and bulk garbage collection. For parks, work continues on trail cleanup, landscape prep work ongoing, maintenance on sports field, Team Guju baseball field upgrades continue in preparation for the 2025 Summer Games. Parks and open space mowing. Phase 3 of the urban forestry plan has started in the Team Guju complex, and Branscombe Pond trail upgrades are underway. For fleet, motor vehicle inspections on all heavy-duty trucks are ongoing, and service maintenance continue. And UTM, general calls, plugged sewers, service locates, new water and sewer service inspections, camera inspections, troubleshooting, water and sewer repair, leak detection, valve exercising underway, catch basin cleaning underway, lift station inspections and maintenance, working in conjunction with PED on capital works projects, and the water levels at Babel's Big Pond as of May 27th, 2024, you can see there below, and we're in quite good standing there as well. That's it for our committee report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's great. We're going to move on to another committee, the Planning, Engineering, Development Committee report. Deputy Mayor Kiley, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. For the purpose of discussion direction today, I'm going to be covering the first 5 on our agenda here for PED, and then I will be handing it off to my colleague, Councillor Antle. So the first on our agenda is 2 Stapleton Road, known as the former pool, and it's in relation to the environmental remediation. This is a request for change order number 4 regarding the remediation of contaminated soil. So a bit of a background here. The committee was previously advised that the contract for hazardous building materials assessment, oil tank assessment, removal, delineation and supervision at the site of the former pool, Stapleton Road, was awarded to Pinchin Limited. Pinchin was requested to provide a quote to remediate and treat the contaminated soil, provide oversight, sampling, and a final report. Pinchin Limited provided a quote for the remediation, oversight, sampling report, and restoration of the site in the sum of $35,086.50, and that includes HST. It is a recommendation of the committee that we recommend approval of change order number 4 payable to Pinchin Limited for the remediation and remediation of contaminated soil oversight testing and reporting in the amount of $35,086.50, HST included, and I so move.
Thank you. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Antle. Any questions, comments? This is part of moving forward with that site here at the city for the old former site. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? And those opposed? And that's carried.
That leads us to agenda item number 2, Carroll Drive upgrading with ISIP. That's the water main repairs, and that is a request for approval and a contractor change order number 1. The committee was advised that there was a water main leak on Carroll Drive near Civic number 11, which impacted the supply of water to residents on Hanrahan Place and Carroll Drive. The contractor for the project, Dexter Construction, provided a quotation of $24,719.84, HST included, to complete this work, which includes labor, equipment, and materials to remove and replace the existing leaking water main and valve. It's the recommendation of this committee that we approve the contract change order number 1 payable to Dexter Construction and in the amount of $24,719.84, HST included, of water main repairs on Carroll Drive. And I so move.
Again, moved by the Deputy Mayor and second by Councillor Antle. Any questions, comments? Work got to get done, I guess, to keep our infrastructure up to date. I'll call a question. All in favor? And contrary-minded? Carried. Thank you.
And our third item for the agenda here is 2024 Traffic Engineering Services Request for Qualifications. The committee was advised that the city identified a need for traffic engineering support for intersection design, traffic control timing, traffic calming, recommendations for accessibility requirements, and other traffic engineering related concerns throughout the city. The request for qualifications for traffic engineering service closed on April 30th, 2024, and the city received a total of 3 responses. They were reviewed and determined to be acceptable. This is not the actual professional services work at this time. Rather, it is to establish a qualified list for consideration when these particular services are necessary. So the recommendation from this is the Planning and Engineering Development Committee recommends that the following consultants qualify for the 2024 traffic engineering services per the request for qualifications to number 1, Harborside Transportation Consultants, number 2, Inglo Corporation, and number 3, RV Anderson and Associates Limited. And I so move.
It is moved by, again by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Antle. Any questions, comments? I think this leads to greater efficiency down the road, doesn't it, Director? Do you want to expand on that a little tiny bit for us? Because I guess as part of our municipal plan review, we're
Yeah.
going to be talking not just zoning, but traffic.
I was getting ready to just speak loud, Your Worship. Yes, this is about expediting some of the traffic engineering services that are common throughout the city when we have questions about particular developments or interest in intersection challenges that we face. And this allows us to be able to utilize expert services that we've availed of through this RFQ. And when the time comes, if we need to avail those services, we'll seek proposals directly from one of these 3. So it is expediting our work.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, folks? Okay, I'll call this question as well. All in favor and contrary-minded? I see the thumbs up from our West Coast friend. Thank you very much, Councillor Locke. All in, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. That leads us to number 4 on the agenda here for 835 Black Marsh Road, specifically DA 24-0150 regarding discretionary use of council new building and clinic use. Discretionary use for of council for the new building and clinic use. So The background around this is the committee was advised that the city is in receipt of an application to subdivide the parcel of land on 835 Black Marsh Road and construction of two-story building to accommodate a clinic use. That's urgent care facility on the main floor with additional leasehold space on the second level. And for the purposes of our council, you could see there on our kits, just a brief description of where that is map-wise. The public consultation process had happened, so a notice of the application was posted in the city's website and was published in the Telegram on Saturday, April 27th, 2024, and a public briefing session was held on May 13th, 2024. And the recommendation for this was that the PED committee recommends approval of the application by Morgan Enterprises Limited to accommodate a clinic use and construct an urgent care facility at 835 Black Marsh Road, and I so move.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and second by Councillor Antle. Any questions or comments, Council? Councillor Rice and then Councillor Antle.
Thank you, Worship. No, I just want to say, I certainly support the urgent care facility and the clinic use because it's certainly important to our city to have something like this in our city, and having the ability to not to travel in long distance for anybody that needs that urgent care facility is very important for the residents of the city. So just saying, I want to say I certainly support it 100%, and I'm glad that the provincial government and NL Services has decided to use the city of Mount Pearl for some space to put some of their urgent care facilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, Councillor Antle.
Almost on the same light, I think this is a great thing to have for the city of Mount Pearl. I mean, when you look around, we have urgent care right here in the city of Mount Pearl, and it's easy accessibility right here on Tops Road and Black Marsh Road. It's certainly going to help our residents and make Mount Pearl even more appealing. It's a good news story all around, and certainly support it 100%.
Councillor, when do you think this will open? Any idea? I'm thinking from a committee perspective. Didn't want to put anybody on the spot. Any ideas?
10 months. Is that what, 10 months is what we believe? Oh, Councillor Locke has his.
So yeah, 10 months or so, hopefully it'll open for operation. Let's just call it a year. Councillor Locke, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to echo some of the comments of my two council colleagues here as well. To have a facility like this in the city of Mount Pearl, it certainly plays into our attraction strategy to attract newcomers to the city of Mount Pearl, to the suite of services that we already offer here. To have this urgent care facility here is a great addition. And as Councillor Rice said, I commend the government and the healthcare services for bringing such urgent care services from the city center itself of St. John's into the broader Avalon region. It can only lead to more efficient and better healthcare for all the people in the region, but certainly for people, our residents of Mount Pearl. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any final questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Carried.
And that leads me to my last item on the agenda before I pass it along to my colleague, Councillor Antle. And it's in relation to Olympic Drive's resurfacing. There's a request for approval to proceed with a contract change order number 6 regarding the installation of a water main valve. The committee was advised that the tender for the Olympic Drive resurfacing was awarded to Farrell's Excavating Limited on July 25th, 2023, in the amount of $798,933.75, and that includes HST. During the execution of the work of the contract, it was determined that an improvement to the operation of the water main in the area of the glacier would require installation of an additional valve. This valve would enable isolation of the glacier services, for example, during a link repair or the continued watering service of the neighboring facilities. So it's a recommendation of this committee that we approve the contract change order number 6 payable to Farrell's Excavating Limited in the amount of $22,423, HST included, for the installation of the water main valve to the glacier. And I so move.
It is moved by the deputy mayor. Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Randall. Thank you. Any questions or comments? I was a bit distraught when I saw another change order up on Olympic Drive, but like the director said, you can't shoot the messenger. The valve needs to be put in so that you can control and ensure water goes to the glacier in case you have to shut down Olympic Drive, right? So it's a good move. I'll call the question if I don't see any other hands up. All in favor? Are those opposed? Thank you very much.
Your worship, I guess I'll start with the last remaining 5. And number 6, I'm very proud and pleased to bring this one in. I think we've been working on this for a long, long time. It has had to do with our community center design build and our contract recommendation. The design build request for proposal closed on April 3rd, 2024. 4 responses were submitted by the 4 pre-qualified proponents for this project. They were evaluated and the preferred proponent was determined. As a design build, the submission included concept design and an overview of the program and the building and site functions. Pending contract award, the design will be finalized. The complete building details and renderings will be released. The Planning, Engineering, and Development Committee recommend that the city accept a proposal submitted by JMJ Holdings and award the contract for the new community center. Yes, the new community center and our splash pad and ice surface up to the maximum contract value of $15,547,218 plus HST, and I so move.
Moved by Councillor Rantoul, thank you, and seconded by the deputy mayor. And I believe Councillor Rantoul, you're going to speak further. The motion's on the floor. You're going to speak further to it.
Your worship, just to further on this, our civic center, it's a proud day here in the city of Mount Pearl. We've been looking at this for a long, long time, and I'm sure we're all going to talk about it for quite a period of time. This building is a replacement for our Park Place Community Center, which was slated for replacement in 2014 after a condition assessment, which outlined many issues such as accessibility, limited parking space, our HVAC systems, our electrical and building envelope conditions. So we certainly needed to replace Park Place. Our new civic center will be 24,500 square feet and will feature modern amenities, including a splash pad area that will transform in the wintertime to an outdoor ice skating rink. This infrastructure upgrade will enhance recreational opportunity for the residents and also improve overall aesthetic appeal of the Team Gujuk Sports Complex. And this is a great day for the city of Mount Pearl. I mean, this is the final chapter, the final building that we need to make Mount Pearl stronger and better. And I pass on to my colleagues. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor, as a member of the committee, and you're only back 2 weeks, a lot of stuff happening.
Spent $15 million.
So much happening, and I think I came in at the right time to be able to be a part of this announcement and the approval process here. And certainly this is this has been long-term in the making. Such incredible amount of work has happened through community engagement, staff support and research and development around this, council's input, incredible discussion. This is so exciting to be seeing at this time when it ever is brought back to this table here, because we're hitting another milestone of this being closer and closer to where we want to be with this. And certainly our council recognizes the importance of community and sees the new community center as a significant step forward in really solidifying Mount Pearl as the premier place to live on the Northeast Avalon. There's no better example, and certainly a physical space where we're seeing the development, whether that is the arts, the culture, the community, the recreation to just expand from the physical building that will eventually be developed through this. And I do want to talk and thank and commend the accessible design and central location of this place. It's going to certainly allow for the facility to provide opportunities for social interaction, recreation, and enrichment for young and old alike. And accessibility is so important to this. And as one member of council, and I'm sure I could speak for all of my colleagues here, to know that all are welcomed and can be a part of the living, breathing development of the programs, services, and everything we're going to be offering through this facility is so important, and that everyone should be here. Inclusivity is so important. And I believe the center will be a place where all generations can come together, connect, and thrive. It's just so exciting, and I'm happy to hear my other colleagues speak to this as well, because it's a great milestone today that we are continually moving this along.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lane.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll take the first part here. I just want to actually, at this time, I do believe it's a phenomenal investment for the city. And I just want to take this opportunity actually to commend all of our, I guess, our senior staff, corporate services, speaking actually on behalf of the co-chair of the Corporate Services and Public Works Committee, along with Councillor Lane. Being part of the corporate services, we always got to look at ways to pay for items in the city, and if we have new investments, housing or any kind of, I guess, added monetary additions to the city, we certainly got to look at how we're going to pay for it down the road. And I can certainly commend our senior staff and corporate services at this time of coming up with a plan and really working hard behind the scenes. And there's a lot of work went into this behind the scenes by a lot of people. So I just want to thank you for all the hard work from the planning, engineering, development to the corporate services to even our public works committee. I mean, the amount of work that goes into an investment like this is just not easy. The task and the work that goes in behind the scenes is phenomenal, because I see it firsthand how much time and effort and commitment has gone into this. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of council for all the work that you've done. Just also want to comment on the construction of the new community centre represents a significant investment in the economic development of Mount Pearl. In line with our strategic plan, this state-of-the-art facility will attract new businesses and families to the area, contributing to the growth and the vitality of our city. And I'm so happy to see we're actually incorporating the ice surface and the splash pad, in this facility as well. It's for the long-term investment of the city of Mount Pearl. And it's so important to see a smart investing in the city going forward. So I just want to commend everybody that had a part in this and say thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well said. Over to you, Councillor Lane.
There's no doubt Councillor Ray said a lot of hard work has gone into this from all staff involved. So a huge thank you, just echoing Councillor Ray's sentiments there. This is definitely going to be a huge asset to our city and, more importantly, our community. So by investing in cutting edge infrastructure that meets the evolving needs of residents, Mount Pearl demonstrates its dedication to enhancing the quality of life for its community members and ensuring a vibrant, forward-thinking future for all of us. The facility will be LEED Silver certified, demonstrating the city's commitment to sustainability and environmental stewardship, which is always so important. This aligns with our climate change action plan and ensures that the project is in line with our long-term goals for a greener and more resilient city.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go to Councillor Locke at the end. So Councillor Fry, this building is going to see a lot of use, and you're on the Recreation and Community Safety Committee, and it's been a real team effort. We heard from Corporate Services, Public Works, we heard from Planning, Engineering. I guess at the end of this discussion on the motion, returning to the recreation part of the city, hey.
That is so true. And one of the things that we are so proud of here in Mount Pearl is our community spirit. And a building such as this is going to certainly bring the community together. This new community center will serve as a focal point for our community development and provide a versatile space for a wide range of activities and events. So we have from local theater productions to social gatherings and corporate meetings. The facility will foster connections and strengthen bonds within Mount Pearl community, and that's something that we are so happy for. As well, the atrium will offer a welcoming space for residents to enjoy panoramic views of the splash pad and ice rink. So from the inside, you can look outside and see all of the activities that are taking place, whether it's summer or winter. And whether escaping the sun, heat, or watching the kids skate in comfort, this feature adds to the appeal of the new community center as a gathering place for all seasons. And I just know I can just picture so many events taking place there, especially Christmas time, and it's just going to be a wonderful place for our community to gather. And I'm so pleased about this and glad to see it coming in. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Locke, you're the last to speak, and then I'm going to ask Councillor Antle to close debate.
Thank you, Mayor. You referenced this. This was a long time in the making, and you know, different things change throughout the world in terms of financial circumstances, COVID and the like. And I know Councillor Rice commended and thanked senior management and staff for all the great work they did. But I would like to tip my hat, yes, to our senior management and all the staff, but also my council colleagues. This was not something that, you know, we flippantly decided. There was many debates, many discussions, many to's and fro's, many meetings about this. And Councillor Rice said it. You know, we want to make sure that, you know, it met the financial capability of the city. And I'm confident that it does. Councillor Fry mentioned as well how it's going to be a focal point. And it was Councillor Antle mentioned about economic development here. In our 5-year center city revitalization plan, I mean, this is going to be a key component to that. And I mentioned earlier about our strategy to attract, you know, newcomers to the city of Mount Pearl. And we have such a range of programming, social programming, recreational programming. This is just going to add another great facility to that with some new features. And back in 2019, Mayor, you'll recall that we did a recreational master plan where we reached out for input, you know, from our residents. And of the 10 key asks or recommendations from our residents, this new community center will address 5 of those. So our residents, you know, asked for it, and council listened, and we're going to deliver here with this new community center. So we requested input from the residents, as I said, and they their feedback was they wanted more facilities to promote fun and fitness for all ages across all seasons. And Councillor Fry mentioned this. I mean, the combination of a splash pad, skating pad, I think, you know, you'll be able to walk around the exterior of the splash pad. You'll be able to sit inside for those who want to sit inside and look out. It's such a great design with the window features, the glass features, and how it brings the outside in, and the vegetation and landscaping that's proposed out there. It is going to be such a great addition to our city. Now, while the rendering that we have displayed here tonight or discussing tonight, you know, this may evolve, you know, throughout the process, but you can see that it delivers on many of the asks that our residents asked for. And one in particular I want to highlight, because I know this has come up time and time again, is the opportunity for, you know, a new theater, you know, where plays can be put off, social gatherings and the like. So it's going to be a great addition. Again, I thank my council colleagues for all the tremendous work that we put into this. And of course, our staff, we couldn't have done it without their professionalism and dedication. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'll have a couple comments before I turn it back to you, Councillor Antle. You're the bookend here today, and I appreciate all the work that's gone into this by council and staff. It's taken a while, but it took a lot of teamwork amongst many departments and many people. To my council colleagues, I think we were courageous enough to build a plan so that we're not just talking about the Mount Pearl of the past, we're talking about Mount Pearl of the future. and our strategic plan, which we adopted 2 years ago, has some very significant goals with regards to growth and redevelopment, as Councillor Locke said, of the inner city, so to speak, the city center. But it is also we're turning our attention to through another pillar to what we're really proud of, as Councillor Fry said, our recreation component here in the city of Mount Pearl. Financially, I want to commend the team of department heads and staff and managers who not only consulted with the community as part of the Recreation Master Plan, but also ensured they brought good recommendations to the council, primarily to do a design build. We've had estimates up till now. Now we have a design, as Director Antle would tell me, the design is owned by the contractor, and at the end of the day, they're responsible for a lot of the financial risk. So while the amount has evolved over time, it's really been a work in progress to ensure that we don't get any big surprises going down the road. So we know, and I know this was a big issue with corporate services and public works, also a big issue for you, Councillor Antle, to ensure we had some financial stability in terms of this contract. And I think we've reached the right place, and the value of the contract reflects the value today to, as Councillor Locke said, to provide all of those services and reach our Recreation Master Plan objectives. And having said that, we should not have any, you wouldn't think, too many upside surprises as we build this place. So we move forward from there. I want to thank my colleagues for adopting our strategic plan. You know, folks, we've achieved 90% of what's been in that plan. And I think the benefit for us as a council and for us as a city is we've been able to focus on something as opposed to being perceived as going all over the place and chasing this project or chasing that one. It's been a matter of great focus. And I want to say CAO Spurl is not here, but to her, senior staff and all our staff, thank you for the commitment. To my council colleagues, thank you for remaining focused and working through it. And we'd recognize always that we owe a responsibility to our residents to make sure we build and develop those community services that are needed, but to do it in a responsible fashion. And I think it's fair to say that we've done that. So thank you very much, everybody. And we look forward to seeing the building go up and being part of the good infrastructure here at the City of Mount Pearl as we grow forward. Councillor Antle, close her up.
Let's build that building. And, you know, I think we all talked about it. It's a good day for Mount Pearl, a good news story. You know, as we talked about this, we all talked about how many meetings and how many multiple meetings we had with our senior staff, with council, and how many debates we had on, you know, different issues and this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we came up with a good plan. As Councillor Rice said, you know, we looked at this, how are we going to pay for this building? You know, this is a $15 million building. And I looked at this, and one of the things we're talking about is housing. How many houses are we going to build in Mount Pearl in the next few years? And we're doing that right now. Just today on Park Avenue, the old Park Avenue School area, there was a construction equipment down there clearing land to build homes down there. 2 weeks ago, we're up on Mount Carson Avenue. We're starting an apartment building up there. You know, just now, right now, we're up on Farrell Drive. We're putting in new water and sewer lines for Northlands, and that's going to help us to build this. And as we grow, I mean, this is going to help us to pay for this building, and it's great to see. We used our multi-year funding to help fund this. I mean, we got to be proud how we were very frugal, and Mark and Councillor Lane and Councillor Rice said that we were very frugal on this. You know, it's $15 million. We had to make sure Mount Pearl can afford it, and we can. And I'm very proud to bring this motion forward again, and I so move.
Thank you. Motion is all on the floor and echoed again. Thank you very much. All in favor? Those opposed? Carried. And Director Antle, we hope to see shovels in the ground in the coming weeks. Thank you. Back to you, Councillor Antle.
No, I just spent $15 million. Everything after that is number 7, it's our building occupancy permit list for May 6th to May 17th inclusive. The Planning, Engineering Development Committee recommends that the residential and commercial building permits issued for this period showing a total construction value of $1,512,090 to be approved, and further, the occupancy permit list to be accepted as presented, and you can see that in your case. And I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Antle, and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Those opposed? Thank you, Sorry, thank you, Councillor Locke. I'm watching to make sure I see your thumb up as opposed to shouting out. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks.
Number 8 is our development permit list from May 6th to the 17th, and you see 3 there in your kit, and I so move.
Again, moved by Councillor Antle, second by Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Contraminded? Thanks, carried.
I'll do that all over again. Sorry, but I've had my microphone on, and our municipal plan review is undergo right now, and the committee previously advised that the request for proposals. In the past couple of weeks, we've been meeting down to the soccer hut with the public to talk about a municipal plan. And this report on the activities and progress with respect to the Plan the Pearl. A number of public engagement consultations have been done, including a business forum and a business survey, council stakeholder sessions, and a council survey, and 3 open houses at the Team Gouja Soccer Hut, and an online ongoing survey. As well, individual one-on-one consultations with stakeholders will be ongoing through the next couple of weeks, in addition to other public events at city events. A hard copy of the community survey and overview of this project will be going out on June the 4th. The survey is being delivered to every resident in the city of Mount Pearl. A public launch will be aligned with this timeline with public announcements on the city social channels and websites, as well as display areas being prepared just outside here in City Hall, and there will be a permanent area for this project. And anybody who wants to find out any more information on this, just check out our website, Plan the Pearl, and you'll find lots more information. Also, with our capital works projects or capital projects, our tender for asphalt and concrete players is closed and under review. A request for proposal for engineering service for design of Holden Street and upgrading to be issued June this month. Request for proposals for engineering service for design of Jackman Drive and upgrading to be issued June 2024. A request for proposal for sanitary sewer modeling to be issued June 2024. It's going to be a busy June. A request for proposal for storm sewer modeling to be issued June 2024. And our residents might see Birch Avenue now, construction is still ongoing. We're almost ready for the final paving. Farrow Drive, we're ongoing construction. Carroll Drive, it's being worked on right now. Olympic Drive, we're almost at the end. And line painting is ongoing right now, and we should soon have all our streets ready to roll. And that's everything for this committee, Your Worship.
You folks were busy. All right, that was the biggest report and the biggest expenditure of money in the city of Mount Pearl's history, with maybe one exception. There she's back. And that's a good thing. To finish off the meeting, I'm going to turn to the next committee report, which is Recreation and Community Safety. Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Ours is not quite as long. First on our agenda this evening is the notice of scheduled maintenance for the Glacier Arena Rink 2. So the removal of the ice for the Glacier Rink 2 is for maintenance is scheduled from Tuesday, June the 11th to Sunday, July the 7th. And Glacier 2 rink will reopen on Monday, July the 8th, just in time for the start of hockey schools for the summer, and also for evening and private rentals. And that's necessary to do for maintenance. And that's now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Councillor Locke, for the remainder of our report this evening.
Thank you, Councillor Fry. Thank you, Mayor. The last item for our committee has to do with the Street Jam 2024. Street Jam is back for another season in our city. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, there's no denying the thrill, hitting the pavement and scoring the winning goal. The June 14th to the 16th Street Jam is going to take place in the upper parking lot. In past years, Mayor, you'll remember that some of these games were held on some of the streets in the neighborhood, but a smaller scale event allows us to accommodate it in the upper Glacier parking lot. So we encourage people to gather your teammates, get signed up. You can visit www.streetjam.ca to register and come on out and have some fun in the city of Mount Pearl. That's it for our committee, Mayor. I thank you.
Thank you very much. That brings an end to the agenda for the night, but we'll do a roundtable before closing, and Councillor Lane is first.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple items for me. On June 13th, the Mount Pearl Sports Alliance will be having their Mount Pearl Hall of Fame sports inductee ceremony. And the following members are going to be inducted: Keith Smith, Mary Spurl, Patty Keith, Laura Strong, and Dave Rogers. So a huge congratulations to them. It's quite an honor to be inducted to the Mount Pearl Sports Hall of Fame. I also wanted to say congratulations to our Mount Pearl Marlins, who had their swim competition this past weekend at the Summit Center. And there was a lot of great performance and representation from our swimmers here at Mount Pearl. So congratulations to everyone involved, and also a huge thank you to all volunteers and staff who are involved in putting this off as well, because I know quite a lot of work and hours go into it. So a huge congratulations to everyone. That'll be it for me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Counselor Fry. Counselor Locke, I'm going to have you in turn next because you normally would be sitting next to Counselor Fry.
So coming up in a few days, we're going to have the Newfoundland and Labrador Pet Show at the Glacier. And Beagle Paws Rescue will be hosting the annual Newfoundland and Labrador Pet Expo at the Mount Pearl Glacier on June the 8th and the 9th. And sorry, just got to get my notes here. All right. This is a wonderful event. And the Pet Expo will be featuring exhibits from a variety of local and national pet businesses. So you can see a wide range of pet treats, handmade pet treats, clothing, supplies, and much more. And in addition, many pet rescue and animal welfare groups will be on hand with the pets that will be up for adoption. So it's a great place to go. Throughout the weekend at the Pet Expo, there will be pet demonstrations that will take place in the event ring. And the show hours are from Saturday, June the 8th and Sunday, June the 9th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Admission is $9 per person and kids under 5 are free. So it's a wonderful event. Highly recommend it. I've been there and I love it every year. Also coming up, and if you're looking for something to do with the kids, is or for anybody, kids of any age really, is Canada's Circus Spectacular. And that's on June the 12th. So the Circus Spectacular will take place at the Mount Pearl Glacier on Wednesday, June the 12th, with 2 shows. One is at 4:30 and one is at 7:30. And the circus will be a 90-minute super tour, which will entertain from start to finish with artists from across the globe. So the show boasts an international entertaining cast of comical clowns, spellbinding aerialists, and daredevil motorcyclists. So, I mean, that sounds like everything right there. The ticket purchases are online through the circus website. And again, that's taking place at the Glacier on June the 12th. And also for the kids, on the last day of school, we're having an outdoor movie in the park. That's on June 20th. And this movie will take place at St. David's Park, weather permitting, of course, on June the 20th from 8:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And the feature film is Trolls Band Together. So bring a blanket, bring a chair, bring some snacks. I believe there are going to be food trucks there for snacks. So it's going to be a wonderful way to celebrate the end of school. And I highly recommend that everybody come out and enjoy the film. And that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Yeah, weather permitting. And that's not far off because school is out a little early this year. I guess everybody who's a student or a teacher or administrator paid the price by, starting early and getting fewer breaks, right? But just a thought, if we had bad weather, and we have that new community center, you could move the movie into indoors, couldn't you? Okay, Councillor Locke.
Great idea, Mayor. Thank you. Many of mine have been covered already, but I just want to speak to the 20-minute makeover blitz that we had Saturday morning down at Forest Avenue. Despite the rain, we still had a contingent of volunteers out to help pick up garbage. So I just want to thank staff for organizing that, and certainly thank the residents that came out on that day. But I will highlight that while we had the blitz Saturday past, we've been having cleanups in the city May and June into June. So if any residents would like to clean up their neighborhood or a section of the city or trailways where they frequent, they can certainly reach out to our staff, and we'll provide bags and gloves to help them along with their initiatives. And it's heartwarming to see that we've had I guess close to several hundred people now, residents, different groups come out, and help polish the pearl. So comments I've received from residents that many of the areas have already been cleaned up by both our volunteers, but also our staff have done a great job as well, beautifying the city. So that's it for me, Mayor. I thank you.
Thank you, sir, very much. Over to you, Deputy Mayor Kiley.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have two items. One is just acknowledging and celebrating. You know, it's not often that that's probably the biggest white lie I've ever said. It's not often you see me in bright colors, but today I'm specifically wearing bright colors, not just to balance out this drowsy old weather, but celebrating what is the beginning of Pride Month. And June is certainly a Pride is Pride Month right now. And I looked to my colleague, Councillor Fry, who had on her social media post did a wonderful tribute already, and as did many others, acknowledging the month. I think for many people around the room, it is not just an important social recognition and type of acknowledgement to do, but it's also it hits us all personally. There's no one in our circle of friends or family, or if you identify as a part of that community, as I do, to be talking about the value of inclusion and to address items like denouncing hate and everything that we do as a city around supporting social development and wellness kind of helps with that. It's just a wonderful month to acknowledge the importance of that. And not often, but I still get that question of why is there a Pride Month, or, why do we not need a straight month? I've been asked this. And what is important to recognize is that if in your life you haven't been judged, ostracized, bullied, threatened because of who you are as an individual, then that's the reason why you always need Pride. It's also a sense of community, of sometimes feeling isolated, the process of coming out, the process of living in, even geographically here in our province, in a smaller town. These things can make it really difficult for feeling included and really coming to a place of self-love, which is ultimately the goal, that we all should feel like we can love ourselves and the people around us. So that's why I'm wearing this very beautiful, I call it my community dress, of just, it has gorgeous colors, wonderful hearts, flowers, the message of go for it. And I think that type of spirit is alive and well in this room and in our community. And when it is challenged, I absolutely invite everyone to address it, say it's not okay, and in whatever way you can to challenge it back is so important. So that's one thing. I also want to talk about the 40th annual Janeway Telethon, a huge milestone, and that had raised this year $2.86 million. While this is a national, Janeway certainly is our provincial hospital for our children and youth. Many of the community organizations within Mount Pearl had donated, volunteered. It was really lovely to see some of my colleagues and members of the Mount Pearl's Lions Club on the phones. And we also had actually one of our youngest members, who was the co-chair this year, will be next year, from the Bennett family, and it was wonderful to see them as well. And yeah, it's just wonderful to know that when we see these larger, big organizations that do so much for children and our youth, that we know that Mount Pearl will always step in and support and engage. So just commending all of the volunteers the Janeway Telethon, and everyone that was involved in the weekend for ensuring that we've got supports going to a place that is critically needed. And that's me.
Thank you very much, and well said on Pride Month, and a very personal journey for all of us. And I think we celebrate Pride Month to celebrate, and also because of the hatred. It is what it is, and we need to fight back.
Just a quick note on that, because I know that there's Pride Month, but we also have July Pride festivities here, Pride Week. And people are like, why do we have that? It's like, well, look out the window. Do we really want? This is what happens when we try to have a parade in the middle of June in Newfoundland. So it just, again, it should work for everybody.
When people say why, I respond, why not? Over to you, Councillor Antle.
No, it's going to be hard to top that, but our Pride crosswalk, one of our Pride crosswalks is over on Team Guju. We're in the process of doing others, but one of Team Guju, it's there and it's up and ready now. I only have a couple of things, and one of them has to do with what Councillor Locke talked about, is our 20-minute makeover. You know, we all went down on Forest Avenue and all over Mount Pearl on our 20-minute makeover. But one thing I did notice, and it comes up all the time, pick up after your dog. It's terrible. I mean, I was on one of the trails myself and Councillor Rice, and I think in 3 different locations, you know, there was dog feces, and we supply the bags. I don't know why you have if dog owners take your dog for a walk, pick up after your dog. I mean, that's easy, but it's so good to see the trails being cleaned up. And the second thing, and only the final thing for me, is and I might have been talked about last week, is our lunchtime concert start again here in July. In July and August, right here in Centennial Square. And any performers that want to perform, get your applications into the city now. So when we have pop-up markets, we have concerts all throughout the whole summer, and this is how we get our names. So if you put your name in, we'll certainly try to use you throughout the summer months. And thank you very much. That's everything from me, Your Worship.
Oh, thank you, sir. Over to you, Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. Just a couple of things for me, and I too want to talk about the 20-minute makeover. I just want to, you know, the Councillor Locke and Councillor Antle touched on a lot of the parts, but I just want to say, you know, the setup of the city staff. I mean, putting up the tents and getting everything ready, the packages they put together for gardening, and we had Leicester's Farms there as well. I mean, when we got down there and we see what the setup that they had, I just want to commend. You know, the amount of work that goes into putting up the tent and getting everything ready, and because we had it rainy all morning. But also the big commitment from the Mount Pearl Lions Club and also the Rotary Club of Waterford Valley. I mean, they were down in the river with hip rubbers on, and I see them there. You know, they were taking out tires and rims and whatever was in the river, they were pulling it out. So, you know, it certainly commend them to what they do. And like Councillor Antle mentioned about the you know, all the mess that still is left around. I mean, it's people's garbage that they throw out of their own hand on our trails and down by the rivers, and, you know, clean up. I mean, don't throw it out, take it home. If you take it in, take it back out and bring it home and put it in your own garbage. So I just want to say that. The second thing for me is I just want to say a big congratulations to Team Mount Pearl, the boys rugby sevens, provincial champs this past Saturday. And I don't know if you'll ever see this in the city in some of the sports in the city of Mount Pearl, but we had team members from Mount Pearl Senior High and O'Donnell on the same team. So and they won the high school tournament gold medal. So I just want to say congratulations to them. And that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
No, thank you. And I just want to close off by talking about 2 things. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Ladies' Night Out. The Kinets put that off. And of course, we have 2 Kinets in the room, and they're very modest. They didn't want to really talk about it, but they raised some great funds within our community and the greater community for mental health awareness and initiative. So, oh, it's only $20,000. Now, how modest is that? You know, like, geez, $15 million, $20,000. You know, it's all good because it's all going, Councillor Fry, towards the community, one way or the other. And I want to commend you. I believe you had a hand in some of the organization. Councillor Lane was there, and you had a great turnout, and the entertainment was good, and the meal was great, and the fundraising was good too, right? So, you know, whether you sold a cake or baked a cake or just helped out selling tickets. I know I had some friends and family there and they enjoyed themselves immensely. So I just want to make a note of that too, right? We may be a city, but I think we're a community first, right? So congratulations on to the Connect Club for organizing all that. And I just wanted to sign off by saying leadership is extremely important in the municipal sector. It's hard to come by sometimes. And I want to reiterate what I said earlier on about our strat plan and sticking to it and the commendable work that everybody's done in this room to move the city forward at all times. So with that in mind, I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn, moved by Councillor Rice, thank you, and seconded by Councillor Antle. We are adjourned.